Welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on this 10th day of February 2026, and it's time for us to have a conversation this morning about what's happening in the country, including what is in the papers. The Daily Nation is reporting governors defy Senate amid bribery scandal, and they have listed the various governors that had been invited on Monday, and they missed to attend. Then there was a press conference later in the day with the Council of Governors announcing that they have resolved they will not appear again before the County Public Accounts Committee of the Senate, saying there are some 4 senators that are extorting them over integrity or questions of utilization of resources at the counties. On the standard, it's trained savages, and they're talking about police officers and the repeated cases that we continue to hear of persons who die or are injured in the hands of the police officers, even as investigations are announced to continue or to commence, but not much is being done in terms of the outcomes and eventual action, whether it's in court or other processes. Now, this morning I have Senator Richard Onyonka from Kisii County. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Sammy.
And it's good to see you after a very long time.
Happy New Year.
What have you been doing?
I took a break. I needed to, I'd been on TV for 3 years in a row.
Yes.
So I needed to take a break, rejuvenate, and I'm okay now.
Okay, welcome back. And
I'm ready to run.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Frederick Okango, Strategic Advisor. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's good to see you. It's been a couple of weeks with a lot of action in your party.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll touch a bit about it. Senator Hilary Sigei, Senator from Bomet County. Good morning.
Good morning, Sam, and thank you for having me today with my colleague and my friend and my former client.
Those are disclosures.
Former client.
Those are disclosures.
And also the fellow party member, isn't it?
Of course. I mean, we've run the trenches with honorable member here. I'll tell you a story.
Okay, Mheshimiwa Njiku here. Good morning.
Morning to you.
I haven't hosted you.
Yeah, sure.
It's good to see you here.
Good to see you too.
And I've also been seeing a lot of your statements in your county. We'll touch a bit about that.
Thank you.
Including your analogy about cows and milking.
Yes, of course, you cannot continue to be a client.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Remember, that is privileged conversation, Mheshimiwa Njiku.
Okay. But you brought it up.
But I'm saying so.
I didn't know about it.
We will talk about it.
Yeah, let's listen to what the governor said yesterday, as they said they will not honor summons or invitations to the County Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. Watch this.
The Council of Governors notes with great concern the continuous and escalating extortion, political witch hunt, harassment, intimidation, and humiliation of excellency governors by certain senators when they appear before the Public Accounts Committee of Senate.
We have a problem with 4 senators. They know themselves, and we are saying they are involved in extortionists, being extortionists. They harass governors, they intimidate them.
We are firm, or I am firm, but I'm also fair to the governors. And that's why I allow them to explain. I allow them to submit their evidence, even though ideally in the Senate, ideally they should not be bringing evidence to the Senate.
They have gone to retreat to sleep and eat the money. They have gone to play along the auction. Yet most of our citizens continue to languish in poverty.
We will also use our powers. If they don't want accountability, then they have no reason receiving money from us. We will stop the money and then see who is going to suffer.
Okay, I didn't know that the Senate is that powerful to stop money flowing to the counties, but we have 2 senators here. Senator Hilary Sigei.
I will place my name tag here. My name tag here, sir.
All right, talk to us about who are these senators who are extorting governors, and how true is this anyway?
It's so sad that we could even get such a statement from the Council of Governors yesterday. Initially, when I saw the presser, I thought it was not one of those things that we would naturally expect.
Yep.
Article 125 of the Constitution of Kenya. And it's important to read because what Senate is doing is what they are supposed to do in the supreme law of the land. That is power to call for evidence under Article 125(1) of the Constitution. Allow me to read because this is very important. Either House of Parliament and any of its committees, underline any of its committees, has the power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. That is the Constitution, the law that we sing every morning when we wake up as Kenyans because it protects all of us. Under 125(2), it gives the powers to this committee or to Parliament, whether the National Assembly or the Senate, and when it's doing so, acting as a high court. Why am I saying this? I'm reading this so that I put context to the mandate of Senate committees. It doesn't matter whether it is Senate County Public Account Committee or any other committee. All committees of the Senate have got the constitutional mandate to do what they are doing. And therefore, as a governor, you've been elected to serve in a public office for a term of 5 years, renewable subject to your performance. You must be subjected to what the law requires of you to do. Accountability. The Senate, under Article 96, is mandated to do that. Protect the counties, protect public resources, and that is exactly what it is doing. Now, the comments and the statement by the governors basically says, we are not going to be ready to be subjected to accountability inquiries on a report by the Auditor General, which is also constitutionally provided for. When you read Article 229, it says that the Auditor General is required in law to submit how public resources have been expended by any government institution, including county governments. And that report is supposed to be presented 6 months after the closure of a financial year, and the Senate is required to debate and go through it within 3 months. That is exactly what my colleagues are doing.
All right.
Now,
so for them to complain that they are being harassed and extorted, where do you take those complaints?
My friend Sam, if you are clean, you've done your job well, you are ready, willing, available to come and represent yourself and what you have done in public. I've always said this, we should be accountable for our actions.
Is it possible that they are being harassed?
No, I mean, we all watch what goes on in the Senate. If, for example, the controller of budget, the Auditor General has said, out of 11 queries that were put across, all have not been responded to. You have been told that you've been unable to account for resources which have been earmarked for purposes of bursary allocation. The Auditor General appears before you. And by the way, they don't come without notice. They always give you notice. There are around 7 steps of an audit process. First of all, you are sent for a notification, pre-session. They do a visit, they give you notice, submit documents, they send you questions. The same case, they are sent for notices before they appear before the committees of the Senate. You are told these are the queries that will be expected of you to answer. And when they come, we all watch, they are unable to answer or to account for it. And that is why we say you cannot choose when to go to court, for example, when you have been charged.
All right.
You cannot choose to take political statements or action without accountability.
Let me hear from Senator Onyonka. Is it possible to extort governors during these sessions?
If you do, then they're an accomplice. Because you know it's illegal to bribe. I was just looking at that press conference and I was like, oops, why is that the case? You constantly hear governors complaining that questions that they're supposed to be asked by the senators are either too harsh, they are embarrassing them, they're humiliating them, and all kind of. Now, if you have spent 45 million to buy seedlings for avocado, and you are taking them to Wajir or Mandera and they don't exist, which questions do you want the committee to ask you? I mean, you know, I look at.
Is that just an example? It's reality.
But it was there last week. The governor then said, no, even if you don't see those seedlings, they're inside. They are away about 40 kilometers. I mean, the whole story that you see that governors are giving about why they cannot be accountable or what is happening in their county.
Was it about Wajir or Mandera?
It was, I think, one of them, either Mandera or Wajir.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can retrieve it.
Yeah,
from the report.
It's about avocado seedlings. And he spent how much? 47 million. I mean, so yes, you are raising a claim and you know some. Let's assume that we are law-abiding. We are legislators.
Yeah.
So we are. Why can't the governors go to EACC? Just report and say, Senator Fulani has taken money from me. In fact, they have been harassing us, and go there. Why are you coming to TV to come and announce and say that we will not be coming, we are being extorted? You have DCI and EACC. Why can't they just like a good citizen, go and report?
So ideally, Mheshimiwa Wanjiku, what should Parliament do because of such kind of allegations? And they are serious, really, about such an important house that protects devolution. And if the governors go ahead and don't appear, don't show up to respond to those questions of accountability, what then? What happens?
Thank you, Sam. I think the governors must take responsibilities. And there is no any other body that oversight them so well, because the Kenyans have already demonstrated the trust they have in Senate oversighting them. In fact, the other day I was engaging a university student, and I was telling him we have been on recess, we shall reopen on Tuesday. And the university student told me, I normally do not follow the National Assembly proceedings. I prefer to follow Senate proceedings. So when a Kenyan say that, there is obviously some trust in what happens in the Senate. But either way, said and done, true, not true, I think the best is as Senator say. There are all these organizations, there are all these bodies, they can even trap. They can give a senator money and trap and proof, because when they tell the Kenyans, some Kenyans may think that is true, some other Kenyans may think otherwise. I think the best thing is to provide evidence. And if it is the case, then it will be acted upon. But there are serious allegations, obviously. And we also know the amount of money that goes to our counties. Time and again, we have compared county money and NGCDF money. And you literally cannot point out what the county funds have been doing for years. You find my county is given around 6 billion every year. My constituency is given around 70, 80 million for projects, because the rest of them amount is administrative and all that. But you see tiles, you see classrooms, you see bursaries. For instance, for the last 1 or 2 years, I don't know what happened, and the county government said they were stopped to give the bursaries. All these students now have been coming to get bursaries to the NGCDF. Hence, there was that conversation, why can't we put one basket all the money from NGCDF, from county, from presidential, then we make the education free. But you'll find the governors are still struggling. We are complaining about the bad roads. They are not making those roads. Time and again they say, I don't know, this is a national government road, this is I don't know which road. Honestly, there is quite a bulk of unfinished and unresolved business that I would even encourage senators to do more to the county. The oversight should even be tightened. So far from where I sit, I see them doing a good job.
Okay. And I see Mauritius Odoro, who is our representative at some of those sittings, is saying that it was 55 million shillings spent on seedlings, which could not be traced and verified, and the county affected was Mandera County. It had also some other questions regarding to water tracking, about 32.9 million shillings, and some resources on relief food, 349 billion shillings and 12 million shillings on cash transfers, and some of the questions were, how come all this money has been spent but you don't see the impact, especially now that there's a situation in the north of the country and other parts in arid and semi-arid areas. Fred, I don't know what your thoughts are. As a Kenyan looking inside, who should we believe here?
Sam, I have always argued that if you want to know the truth, go and read the Auditor General's report.
Yep.
Just read the Auditor General report. Most of these governors, if not all, they have got audit queries. The Constitution of Kenya gives the Senate in Article 96 the provision of protecting and representing the counties and their governments. But when you read the Auditor General report that Honorable Senator Segia said, that must be acted upon within 3 months upon submission by the Auditor General in Parliament, it is the only report in law that confirms whether public money has been used lawfully and legally. Now, if we get questions of 55 million that have not been explained how it was used, then for sure the Senate is doing a good job. I'm also impressed by the committee chaired by Senator Kajwang, my home senator. I think, to be fair to them, they have managed to unpack some of the issues that the governors have been unable to explain, and they go into details. So I have to appreciate that. However, sometimes back during a joint parliamentary meeting between the first one between UDA and ODM in Karen, where my late party leader was present, there's something he raised about these issues the members of parliament call facilitation. If you remember, maybe you have those clips, you can play them later. And it is true, there have been allegations of such facilitation, whatever you want to call them, from some members of parliament when some state officers appear before them. They have not been, ascertained, but those allegations are
facilitation there. To
what Raila was saying then was that there are people or state officers who appear before parliament for whatever reason they are summoned, and there have been allegations that there's a demand from some members of parliament so that they are facilitated. They call it welfare. Actually call it welfare.
Welfare.
You remember, welfare. I don't know what welfare is this in parliament that when a state officer appear before them must be taken care of, whatever it is. But I have to ask them. They are here, they're listening, maybe they'll answer. But what I'm impressed about, Sam, is the Senate. I agree with Mheshimiwa when she said that some of the students told her that he prefers watching the proceedings in Senate. I do the same, because you can actually see, when you go through those committee proceedings, you can actually see the detailed oversight and the questions that are asked. However, we have also had senators who are aggressive. You know, they would want to show that they're doing their job, and maybe some of them are looking for some bites for the media. But unfortunately, that is how the work must be done.
Are they known?
I don't know if they are known, but I've seen bites.
You've seen them?
No, those are personal opinions. I'm speaking to Kenyans, so I cannot push my personal opinions to Kenyans.
I think you're done.
So let me just finish them. So in summary on this, what I'm saying is that for us to defend the public money, for us to defend the interest of the counties and their people, then we must have a Senate committee that does exactly what Senator Kajwang's committee is doing. Because we can see, we can feel it. For the governors, if they have any issue with any senator, as Senator Onyoka said, let them present those names to the DCF for investigation.
All right then. It's interesting that you say that there are some senators who are doing it for the gallery, if I may paraphrase what you're saying. But Senator Onyoka, as you respond to that, because he's raised some questions there, the president, sometime last year, in that joint parliamentary group meeting of ODM and UDA, claimed that actually Senate was a house of extortion. He called it Soko Huru and gave a case of an impeachment process that was being undertaken against one of the governors.
Yes.
So How does Senate share of this target?
Sam, first of all, I want to be very honest and tell you that I agree with my brother that there have been instances and cases and days when the information has come out that when some members of parliament are receiving some guests, whether they are coming from government parastatals or private companies and they are coming to interrogate, or even some of them are coming to make presentations on a bill. Because some of them come and make those bills, they come and discuss if it's a private member's bill, if it's an outfit which has delivered those bills. And I've had cases where everybody has complained, saying when we come to the National Assembly, members of Parliament, they do that. When we come to the Senate, that is what your colleagues do. Sam, let me say this, and I'm going to be extremely candid with this. We have refused to stop this corruption thing in our country. That's all. For me, the consequence of the actions you see, even the complaints that you see us having about members of parliament, or whether it's the Senate with the senators or with the governors, the truth is, if a governor has received an audit report, and that audit report is saying the Speaker of Vihiga County spent 5 million shillings for a housewarming thing. I mean, what else do you what else do you want somebody to interrogate on that matter? Which extortion? So you just come and say, yes, we spent 5 million. If you're supposed to do a refund, you do. If you can't do a refund, why? The reason why, for example, EACC and DCI cannot pick on any of these fellas after all these stories come out is that these fellas themselves bribe the EACC and DCI to make sure that they actually don't go to interrogate them or have questions. As I'm speaking to you this morning, my treasury in Kisii County government was banned 2 days ago. CCTV cameras had been removed from the walls. The reason why, Sam, it's obvious. If somebody is banning the treasury, it's evidence they are destroying. That evidence is what is being presented to the committee at the Senate. What happens? The governors don't show. All right? And I can count them for you. My governor of Kisii doesn't show. Mudomi Njuki has not been showing. At one time, the governor of Isiolo refused to show. You issue, the Senate issues summons to bring them to come. They don't even, the police don't even get them.
Okay.
Then what do you want the Senate to do? I want to finalize this way. Let us build institutions. Let us make sure that if the Council of Governors feel they are being extorted, surely there's a place where you go and report when you think somebody is extorting you.
Okay, I hear you, Senator.
Sam,
yes.
Just 1 or 2 lines on this accountability question. Just as Senator Onyonka has said, if you have not stolen, why do you fear?
Yes.
If you have not stolen,
why do you run away?
Why do you say you are willing to pay a bribe? You cannot choose to be accountable, especially when you are serving in a public office. You are oversighting, in our case, over what goes to the county government of Bomet, 8 billion on an annual basis. I cannot keep quiet when a procurement office is burned down like it was done. I'm surprised that Kisii County banned their treasury. Bomet County banned its
2 years ago, was it?
procurement office, just to kill evidence so that you do not take them forward to the next level. So we have got to be willing and ready the moment we opt to go public and serve the public to be questioned in front of the cameras and to get those not necessarily but important questions by senators.
And for you, your response to the claim by the president that it's Soko Huru.
Yes. Okay. Allow me. Yes. Exactly. When you read the office, the Auditor General's report, they have an added extreme corruption. That is why we are headed to where we are in terms of the inquiries by senators. The case where the statement Soko Huru came from was the impeachment case of Isiolo Governor Guyo. And this was a classic case of illegalities that was done. The county assembly never sat. The county assembly was burned down. The county assembly members did not meet the threshold
allowed them to impeach.
What the law allowed them to impeach. We could not rubber stamp an illegality as a Senate. What happened then is, because sometimes we do politicize, because that statement came from our colleague from Isiolo, that's Sokohuru. And of course, that is what
it also came from the president.
I'm saying that was picked by the president, that the House of Parliament in Sokohuru. It was not. That case, even if one was paid, you cannot be paid to say that an impeachment was legal when it was not. We were not paid for that. Yes, and we said it as much.
Does he have that information? He told us he consumes intelligence.
Of course, that is why we said, and we came up and said, if there are members who've been bribed, it is as simple as what Onyonga said. Please bring forward the names,
the figure of 150 million the president was asking, how do you get such kind of money? He was mistaken?
I was giving a dog a bad name before you lynch it.
Sorry?
You think we can just take 150 million to the Senate and members to take the money and say, look, it's not possible.
But Sami.
Sorry. But I'm not saying it's not possible to share that 150 million to the senators and fail to get evidence and even for Kenyans to know that money has been shared on this platform. I'm not saying that everyone is clean. I'm not saying that members don't sometimes ask.
Yes. It did not happen.
It did
money
happen.
Did not exchange hands.
Yes.
And the president was consuming wrong intelligence.
I've not said the president was consuming wrong intelligence. I'm saying it is not possible to bring 150 million and give to senators. However, it is also not extremely, I can't say members sometimes don't ask, because we've had accusations. That's why we are saying, let them bring forward evidence. The way Senator
the interesting bit is here, and I want us to conclude, Senator Tsige. Yes. So the governors are wrong in what they're saying, the president is wrong in what they're saying, but the senators are right. Is that even possible?
No.
So what's the truth?
It is not possible.
What is the truth?
The truth is, if there are senators who have received a bribe from a certain governor, let that come out, because we also do not want, as leaders, to be blamed for protecting corrupt governors and corrupt senators if they have received that bribe.
All right.
It is not.
Let's take a short break. When I come back, we'll dive into the conversation about the road to 2027. There are all manner of things happening, from reforming the IBC to political parties preparing themselves, strategizing, going to their strongholds and looking for allies. We'll talk about that after the short break.